Congratulations on the win and the championship. How are we feeling right now?
And I just feel amazing, amazing, like living the dream. I did it.
What all went into this? I know you felt very emotional inside in the bowl. Like, what did you feel in that moment when you just really find out you became a champion?
I'm always emotional first, but yeah, for me, this win, like this, the way that I managed to win, like first round, and also Kimura submission. It's like the signature of our school, Six Blade, and yeah, it's just the main plane I was building that I managed to put in action, you know. So for me, it's a big result of our work team because behind the scene there is not just me. We built this game with Tyrone. He worked with me a lot about the strategy. I did my camp in Brazil also, and I repeat a lot of this kind of movement with the guys from the pyramid grappling in Rio de Janeiro. That I'm really thankful for them. And yeah, managing to do all this work in action mean for me that I'm on the really good path. And yeah, just amazing. I don't have the word more than that. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. Like you said there, first round against a very credentialed opponent like Raquel Canuto, like you just did tonight. So was this the perfect outcome that you had envisioned going into this one?
Yeah. Can you repeat,
Was this
please?
the best outcome that you'd envisioned going into this match?
Yeah, for sure. It's like I said, I just repeat a lot this, just not one movement, but since the beginning, like underhook, like pushing, going to the ground, like going to the side, building a senkaku, triangle, and work on choke or arm, and I had the arm. So yeah, and I hope Raquel gonna have a good recovery. It's not easy to hurt people. I don't like it, but it's the game. So she knows that also. So thank you, Raquel, for the match. And yeah, amazing submission for me. Really proud. And also, it's representing my team rock. It's what I do every single day on the mat, you know. Like building something around submission, aggressive game, domination. This is our style also at Six Blade, and it's what we teach to our students. And also, you know, it was for the title, for the first time of the history, and I think that behind that, and behind me, behind my name, there is a lot of little girl that I learned in my school that's gonna be really proud of me, and just the fact their eyes gonna be brilliant looking at that, they gonna be like, I don't know in English, but they gonna be able to dream also, like through me, you know what I mean? And also I build a women team there, so I work a lot on improving women jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu change really lives, and for me, managing to put my jiu-jitsu in action like this way, like finishing, it's the best way to represent how women can be strong, how women can do everything she dream about, and yeah, I hope that can be represented by me winning this belt.
I have to ask, your opponent obviously trains out here tonight. She had a really loud pop. So did it feel that much better knowing you kind of came here in hostile territory playing the away team?
No, you have to
I'll go
slower,
slowly. My fault.
A little bit slow.
Obviously, your opponent trains out here in Las Vegas. She had a lot of her people out here at the Apex. So did it feel that much better knowing you came in, took care of business, you know, as like the away team sort of thing?
Yeah, I know that was the Raquel house. It's about that. Yeah, yeah. I know that she had the crown with her, and but I already fought some other matches without the crowd with me. You know, I already fight both because I won a European in a black belt in a kimono in IBJJF World European in Paris, and it was in my country, and I had the crown with me, so I know what is to have it, and I know what is to don't have it. So I think it's not a big problem because my mental preparation was really strong. I do a mental therapy with a professional, and I just work on that. Maybe same time than I train my physical body and techniques. I work a lot into my mindset just to feel like not just like an athlete, but like a human, you know? Because you have to feel like good with yourself, good with in your life, in your lifestyle, like loving what you do, the process, to be able to perform on the day of the match, you know. So crown, not with the crowd or without, it's not a big problem. But I think now my win gonna bring me more fans and more support, I think. I hope.
Congrats.
Thank you very much.
We see a lot of these belts and these UFC BJJ belts get defended quite often. You're still based out of France, right? What's the plan? Are you hoping to fight more, compete more often, or are we going to see the belt maybe up for defense maybe once or twice a year at max?
You mean when I gonna come back here to fight?
Unless they decide to take it on the road.
I don't really know. I know what I know. It's that I'm gonna be UFC athlete now. So they do a really good work. Like I think that Stephen Tessie and Claudia Gadella are gonna work with me onto this journey. So what's gonna happen after? So I don't really know for now, but I'm ready.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So, how much more special, or is it because you're already well decorated in grappling? How good does this feel as opposed to the other, matches that you've, or the other belts that you have won, or the other titles you have won?
Oh, I think UFC, it's just the best platform, and they give athletes the best visibility and the best way to be professional athletes, you know. And like Stephen talked about, like when the weigh-in before the match, it touched me a lot in my heart because he talked about the career of the athletes, and UFC build not just the athlete career, but also the brand. And I think that be able to win this belt gonna help me to grow like a professional fighter, like now and after. And this is just amazing because it was about a dream for me. And fighting for UFC, for me, it's just the best I can do. And I managed to do it this night. And man, I just gonna cry every single day, like during a 1 week now.
Yeah. So during the match, when you had the submission locked up, what was going through your mind when you realized that she wasn't going to tap? Like, were you going to rip the arm off, or what was going through your mind at that time?
I love this position first. So when I get into the Sankaku triangle and I get the arm, in my mind I was like, oh man, I locked the submission, so now she cannot escape me. So I just have to breathe and just adjust. And this is jiu-jitsu. And when I arrived on the point that I didn't have more leverage and she didn't want to tap, and her arm already was really cracked, Shanje and Tyron said me what was the adjustment to bring the wrist more onto the head. And the last adjustment I did, it was just, if she didn't tap, the injury just gonna be worse, you know? But that's the rules and we sign for that. When we engage into this kind of matches, it's to do, it's like in Portuguese, it's tudo ou nada. So it's mean everything or nothing. So I learn a lot that, like, I am in the submission, the guy or the girl don't want to tap, so I go more. Man, jiu-jitsu breaks arm and make people to sleep. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So I did the work to win, just that.
And it paid off.
Thank you, but yeah, hope Raquel gonna have a good recovery. I'm really. It's not like super good to do that to other people, but yeah, when you fighter, your work is to break people. So yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anybody that you want next? Anybody that you have in mind that you'd like to face?
Man, I don't really know. I just want to take my time to enjoy this win. And I know that UFC BJJ have really good plans. And now I'm with them, I'm work with them. So I think they can put in front of me where any girl they want, and yeah, I'm ready for everything. So I have nothing in mind now, because I want my life is really fast from the single beginning of my career, and I just want to take a time just to enjoy with my family, friends, and just that for now.
All right. Thanks again. It was a great win.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win. Is this going to be the best Christmas present to take home to France?
Oh, of course. Of course. Like a little girl. I mean, like, this week I did the last adjustment with my psychologist, and she asked me something like, I was, oh my God, what I'm gonna make what I'm gonna say. She asked me if the Aurélie 2 years ago have something to say at the Aurélie now, what's going to be? And I said, oh, I don't know. And the Aurélie from the future, and I said, oh, if I won the belt, it's going to be the best present of Christmas a little girl can have. Thank you, everybody.
Ronaldo, congratulations on the win. How are you feeling right now?
I feel so good to be the first middleweight in the UFC BJJ history. So happy with my performance, and now it's time to celebrate.
Was this the way you envisioned everything going?
So
Was this the way you envisioned everything going?
actually, yes, I knew like William Tackett was gonna come really strong in the first round, and I was planning to kind of slow him down a little bit. But eventually, he was able to get a takedown on me, and then he was like uh, controlling me really well on the body lock. He's a really tough opponent. Uh, but I was able to keep my foundation in place, like just playing safe. But before the takedown, I also had a really strong high elbow guillotine on him that his neck popped a little bit. So it's one of the weapons that I have, and yeah, on the second round, the third round, I was able to push the pace, and then I was able to get in some really good dominant position. I almost finished him a couple times, in a couple different submissions that I've been working on the gym. But yeah, that was a great performance, and can't wait to be back and defend my title.
Obviously, you're making history with that belt right in front of you. But also, how good does it feel, coming off what happened at CGI and now doing what you just did tonight?
Yeah, so resilience, Every time I lose, come back stronger, and then the goal is always to have a better performance. I feel like CGI was a great opportunity for me to display my jiu-jitsu in a very big stage, but also was very challenging for me to lose a lot of weight. I had to make 77 kilos to compete, and I usually walk around like 85, so that was a huge weight cut. But it's always good to, like challenge myself against the best no matter what. I always like accept the challenge. I don't really care if I'm gonna fight against someone smaller or bigger than me, or someone that, I always go out there and perform at my best. I feel like I gave my best. I gave everything I had to compete at CJI, and then now I did the same thing in order to win this belt. I push myself every single day. I have like a great team behind me to support me, be a better athlete, a better person, and yeah. So this year I went to the finals on the gi worlds. I fought in the gi. I fought as CJI 77 kilos, and then now UFC BJJ. I also compete in the beginning of the year. I had two great super fights as well, one against J Rod and another one against Philippe Costa, which is a black belt weight champion. So this is my life, like competing against the best and displaying my jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi, whatever.
Nice. And as we continue to see the sport grow and evolve, what is your message to those people, especially maybe the ones that saw you for the first time tonight, tuning into UFC BJJ and all of that?
Well, like I'm Ronaldo. I'm someone that came from bottom, came from, a very small gym, social project in Brazil, and I was able to make this far. Like being the first middleweight ever to win UFC BJJ. Feels like, feels really good to be on this point, at this position right now. And I just want to encourage everyone who, they have a dream, they have like goals in life, to keep pushing, to keep training, to keep like going forward. And then one day, like eventually, if you keep the hard work, the discipline, everything is possible.
Congrats.
You competed in, like I said, Craig Jones, you competed in the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. This is maybe the first time competing in the bowl. I was going to see what you thought about competing in the bowl and what you thought about this, the rule set for this.
Well, yeah, that was very different. I felt like every time we go to the corner of the bowl, it's Anything can happen, I would say. That was one moment at the fight that I was able to push William against the wall, and then I kind of snapped him down, and I felt that if he wasn't on the ball, he wouldn't go that far with his head down. But I feel like because of the wall, he gave me a big reaction. I was like, it feels kind of weird, you know. But also, it's good to have that because the fight never gonna stop. I don't. I feel like having the wall, it's something different that it's gonna improve jiu-jitsu. You know, it's gonna force people to do more jiu-jitsu, to push the fight, to walk forward. You know, I feel like it's an advantage for people who fights like me, who fight forward, who push the pace, because we're never gonna have the back on the wall. And yeah, so that was a great experience, and I'm looking forward to compete on the ball again as a champion. You know, defend this title. I want to be the first ever to be a double champ. I'm willing to go down on the division, or I can also go up as well to fight on the heavyweight. And I hope the UFC BJJ give me this opportunity to be the first double champ ever.
How easy is it for you to drop down? Is the weight pretty easy to come off, or would it be a tough cut?
Would be, would be a very tough cut. But, you know, like nothing in life is easy. Yep. I know, like, I was able to make it for CJI. You know, that was a really hard, I passed through a very hard time. But I pushed, like, to the limit of my capabilities. And I did it. So I can do it again. No problem. You know, like my professor, Andrew Galvão, he always says, like, fighters fight, you know. So I'm a fighter. If I have to lose like 20 pounds to fight, I'm gonna fight. If I have to go up in the division, I can just fight against a bigger opponent. I don't really mind. I don't really care. And yeah, fighters fight. So you hit to fight.
And last for me, you know, the commentary team, when you go back and watch it, was very complimentary. In fact, they were saying you're going to be a real problem for that division. So I guess what does it mean to you knowing that you have UFC fighters calling your fight, saying like, wow, this guy is really something. They're going to have to watch out for him. Does that make you feel pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me happy, you know, to have this having people looking at me and talking about my jiu-jitsu. You know, this is always my goal to display a jiu-jitsu that everyone loves to see. And yeah, so I don't have any pressure. I don't feel like an extra pressure for being the champion. That just motivate me to be a better fighter, to be someone that gonna defend this title for a long time. So I'm a very positive person, and I take this in a positive way that is gonna push me to display a better jiu-jitsu and show a better performance next time that I come here.
Hey. So, how familiar were you with William Tackett and his game plan or his fighting style leading up to this? And did you make any changes or any special training habits that to prepare for him, or was it just as normal as you normally train?
Actually, it's very hard to study him because he's someone that he fights forward. He has a beautiful jiu-jitsu. He always like pushing the pace and looking for submissions. And I like to compete in the same way, right? Pushing forward, going forward. I didn't have to change anything on my training to fight against him. There was just a couple adjustments that I did with my professor towards his game, towards like his wrestling, but not really changing my game. You know, I feel like every time I have a super fight, like against someone, I usually study the person a little bit, and then like I add techniques on my game, you know, to don't get surprised on the moment of the fight. And William, he's a really tough guy, and he's well-rounded. I feel like I didn't have any like specific strategy going to this fight. Uh, in a way that I was like to I was just going with the flow and seeing like what he was about to throw at me, and then I was like watching out for his scrambles. Um, yeah, it was a great fight. I feel that was my first time fighting against him as well, and yeah. So I hope everyone like the fight that we put on. He's someone that fought here like 2 times, and he had 2 submissions very quick. You know, he's a dangerous opponent. And I had 4 fights and 2 submissions, so that made total sense to have this fight happening for the title. And yeah, so
Yeah, it was a great match. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much.
What's up, guys? What's up?
You walked out with a sheet. I thought you were going to give us some stats and numbers at first. What were your thoughts on the overall event tonight?
And I'm just a white belt at this, you know, so I need my notes here. I'm learning a little bit of Dana's job here. But I think the night was fun. We had 10 matches, 3 title matches, and it was actually the first time we do something that is this long. But I think we had some great matches. The ones that went to decision, they were all exciting. Maybe we had some matches in there that were not as expected, but when you pair two really good people against each other, sometimes that happens. And we keep learning, you know, this is a lot of data for us. This is, you know, we're putting these athletes to compete inside the bowl, 3 5-minute rounds, which is super hard. And we are collecting a lot of data and learning more about the matchmaking and the style of athletes we want to bring here too. Like a lot of the new athletes you guys saw in here, it's us trying to see what works for us. And I think we're doing a good job with making sure we deliver exciting jiu-jitsu that people can sit down at home and watch. And, you know, in the end of the day, I think with an event like this, with the type of competitors we're bringing in here, jiu-jitsu wins, and this is our goal. Our goal is to grow the sport of jiu-jitsu that has been around for so long and needed attention, and we are giving a lot of attention to this sport that deserves all that attention, and we are happy with what happened tonight.
I was going to say, you brought up it's the most fights, the most matches that you've had yet, 10 as opposed to 9 and I think 8 before. It was almost 4 hours. Is this about what we're going to see going forward, or was this an attempt at where you guys wanted to try to put 10 on there, and were you happy with the pacing and the flow of the night?
Yeah, that's a good question. We were talking about this now because we don't want it to be that long, and we want action, constant action. So we might change it back to 8 matches. If we do 10 matches, we have to be very intentional with the styles we bring in. Like I said, we were trying a lot of new people today, and I think they all did great, but we have to understand as a new event and a new style, what type of athletes we want competing in the bowl, which is different. Like you can be a high-level, amazing world champion in jiu-jitsu in other organizations, but you come in here and we put you inside the bowl. It's like, you know, I've been using this analogy that watching athletes competing jiu-jitsu inside the bowl is kind of like watching animals in the wild, because they can literally do anything. And when we watch jiu-jitsu competitors competing on the flat mat, it's kind of like watching animals in the zoo where they can't really move much or do much. They go out of bounds a lot. And I think the environment we created in here with the bowl, where there's constant action, we are giving these athletes a platform to go in there and fight the whole time, just like the octagon is for the UFC. And we are still learning about the bowl, just like the UFC had to take some time to learn about the octagon and what makes sense for MMA. We're understanding, collecting data of what makes sense for jiu-jitsu. But I think, you know, when you watch what's happening in the world of jiu-jitsu, we are the most exciting event out there.
We just had one of your new champs, Ronaldo, in here talking about, and actually we talked about the bowl, and he talked about how he likes how the pace kind of keeps you going. Is that the general feedback from the athletes that are competing, that they appreciate the bowl and the nonstop action?
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting thing about the bowl, is because when we watch jiu-jitsu, like we can't watch 2 amazing jiu-jitsu competitors going on the flat mat, and we see, you know, really good submissions being developed, but then when they are close to the submission, sometimes they go out of bounds. And then it's so hard to recreate the same position. It's so hard to bring them back and recreate the same position. And at the same time, it's not good for people that are watching at home. It's not exciting for the spectator. So the bowl creates all the environment of what it takes to a jiu-jitsu match to play out well. And then when we see guys like Ronaldo Jr. and William Tackett in there and Andrew Tackett, we see them really performing the way they can. Because again, if we put them on a flat mat, these exciting moments might not happen because we don't have space. So the bowl kind of answered all these questions that we had in the past about jiu-jitsu, like how do we make jiu-jitsu exciting? Well, we can change the rule set and tell the athletes to push the pace and fight forward, but if they don't have the right environment, it's never going to happen. So the bowl kind of does that job, and it's super, it's an innovation for the sport of jiu-jitsu, and I think, from here, we will only developed the bowl to be better than what it is. We've been talking about ways of developing to be even better, and with that, we'll see even better matches.
And before I ask you about some of the new fighters that you talked about, do you have any sort of a health update on Raquel Canuto and the severity of what that arm injury was?
Yeah, I checked with the doctor. She had something on her elbow. I talked to her in the back. She said she held a little longer.
Yep.
And this is a title match, right? I would hold a little longer too. So, but she's good. She's happy. A little disappointed with the results, of course, but she had amazing performances here, and she always does well here, and she's good.
Yeah, and then speaking of who she went against, I don't want to butcher her name, Aurelie, who won the belt. Based out of France, I believe. I mean, we've seen usually your champs and these people coming back quite often and competing. What's the plan for her now? Are you guys going to take some time? Are we going to see her defending the belt multiple times within a year, or how is that going to work out now that your champ's not here?
Yeah, and I love her style. Like, she's super aggressive, super strong, very technical, marketable, and we see a lot of champions, jiu-jitsu champions, world champions from Brazil, right? And then lately the U.S., different countries, But like when you talk about pure jiu-jitsu, you see a lot of jiu-jitsu world champions from Brazil, and it's great that she comes from a different country and she represents a different country. I think this is really good for jiu-jitsu as a sport that started in Brazil and developed to the U.S., and then now it's a global sport. Having a champion from another country that can represent the sport of jiu-jitsu is great.
I'm glad you said that because I almost forgot. I was going to ask whose idea was it to have Royce Gracie put the belt on Andrew afterwards, and I don't think he noticed it until it was done, and he turned around and he saw his face and he looked like he literally was like, oh my goodness. But whose idea was that? And it was wonderful that you guys did that.
Yeah, we actually started talking about Royce coming here for UFC BJJ 1 because he was in UFC 1, and he was busy. He couldn't come to belt the champions at UFC BJJ 1. So we talked about it to see when he could come, and he was available for today. And that was our team's idea. We have a great team that is always thinking about great things that we can do for the sport of jiu-jitsu, and I agree, that was a great idea.
Would you guys use him again, or are you guys going to try to find other stars within the sport, whether it be UFC or BJJ, to put on belts for future champs? Is that something you'll try to do again?
I'm not sure. That's more of a Dana question. Like, I had to ask Dana to see if this could happen tonight, and I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. And he said yes, absolutely. So I think that's a question that we have to ask him to see what makes sense for the UFC BJJ brand. I'm all about the respect we have for these legends of the sport, and I think it should happen more, but Dana is the boss.
Yeah. And last one for me, I'll let these guys hop on. Your thoughts on the Bellamir and the Reina Willing? Will we see Reina again in the UFC BJJ bowl?
Yeah. Actually, I was very excited for this match. The story with the dads, the dads behind it is amazing. And, the daughters are badasses. Like, they're not here because of their dads, They're here because they're really good at what they do. And I didn't know what was going to happen in this match because I actually spent a lot of time watching Reina to see, because we all know that Bella is a badass, right? And I was going to, I wanted to give Bella challenges as well. I don't want to just give her matches that she can win, and I thought that was going to be a great match, and it was a great match. Reina hang in there with Bella, that is an undefeated athlete, and we'll for sure see her back here. I texted her after the match and I said, we want to see you back. I want to see her against other girls that might not have the same experiences as Bella, and I think she'll perform well here.
So, as far as the growth of the organization, like, have you considered like 5-round championship matches, or expanding the belts or anything of that nature?
Yeah, we talked about that. When we look at a guy like Andrew, right, you want to watch him for 5 rounds for sure. And I think everybody does want to watch him for 5 rounds. But then he finishes fights so fast. And that style of jiu-jitsu is very unique to the point where we don't have much experience with seeing two amazing jiu-jitsu competitors that are fighting for the title going for 5 rounds. Because I'll tell you what, I've never done 3 5-minute rounds in no-gi jiu-jitsu like that, like a real competition. But to me, that looks like incredibly hard. It looks like it's harder than MMA, because in MMA you can bounce around, you can move around, you can shake your body and kind of take a breath. When you do this for 3 rounds, I don't know what would happen with 5 rounds. So we have to test it out, take some really good athletes to a gym or probably here in the bowl and see what happened, and also use the PI, the resources we have, to see if this is even possible, because we also don't want to open that door and just tell athletes to go out there and compete for 5 rounds, and in every match they get tired in the 3rd round, right? Like, so this is a new sport. We are innovating the whole sport of jiu-jitsu. We are being super creative with everything, but we shouldn't push too hard to the point where we will damage the sport. And we want to keep the tradition of the sport, but make jiu-jitsu to look like a fight as much as we can, without punches and kicks and all the strikes and stuff. But we have to spend time learning more about the cardio part of 5-minute rounds, which looks super hard.
Very. Okay. And has there been any talks of maybe expanding to other venues? Because now that we have champions from other parts of the world, do you think maybe going to their backyard, or has that been discussed yet?
Yeah, we are talking about other venues now. We are also talking about global expansion. We might go to a different country, probably 2 next year, in 2026. We are having these conversations now. We still have to do a lot of work around, what would it take to bring the bowl to different places. And we are spending a lot of time trying to understand the logistics of this new venture that we have here in the UFC.
So with that being said, what are your thoughts of how it's growing now, and to what you perceive, like, is it on track of its growth and it's gaining popularity, not just with numbers, but with how you see it growing into?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the place to go for jiu-jitsu. As a jiu-jitsu athlete, like, you go compete in tournaments, and you build your whole foundation competing in smaller tournaments, and you can come here and make really good money and build your brand and kind of have the same career path of an MMA fighter that, have that opportunity today with the UFC. When I started fighting, women was not in the UFC, and, I still believed in the vision that women was going to be in the UFC one day, and we made it. So I think now we are spending a lot of time building UFC BJJ to the point where every jiu-jitsu athlete can come here, the good ones can come in here and build a career and make money and build their brand. And, we for sure have a blueprint of what it takes to build stars and to help athletes to build their brands and make money in the UFC. So I think the future of UFC BJJ is going to be the same thing that the UFC is for MMA.
Okay. And just one more question. What are the thoughts on, Ronaldo mentioned he wanted to become double champ, and is that going to be something that would be open for the athletes?
We'll have to talk about it. Ronaldo, he looked bigger than William in there today, and I was talking to Hunter in the back, and Hunter was like, "What weight is this guy?" You know. So we have to talk about it. We do not want jiu-jitsu athletes cutting a lot of weight, you know. So I have to go talk to Ronaldo and see what he wants to do. But definitely, you know, if he won this belt and if he feels like he can go up and win another belt, this is definitely something we would do.
Just one for me. Congrats on a great night. I just want to ask about someone who was on the card tonight. Renato Canuto took care of business, but he's also pursuing his thing down in mixed martial arts. He's picked up a couple wins in Tough Enough. So is that someone you'd allow maybe to continue going at a high level in both, you know, in sports, or is that a conversation you'd like to have with him if you were to theoretically make it to the top of MMA, you know, to focus on one rather than the other?
Yeah, I think it's hard to compete jiu-jitsu in the highest level and to fight MMA, right? But it looks like Renato wants to build a career in MMA, and he's still very, very good in jiu-jitsu. I feel like when you are fighting the highest level in the UFC and you want to go compete jiu-jitsu, then it's kind of hard. But where he is, I think what he's doing is actually good for him because he's active, he's always competing, he doesn't lose momentum, and we want to help him to build his MMA career. Part of what we are doing for UFC BJJ is also to keep athletes active and to maybe prepare athletes for the UFC. We don't know what Andrew Tackett wants to do, but he's 21 years old or 22 years old, right? Does he want to go fight MMA? If he wants that, well, he's building a great career here, and that's a good start, right? So with Renato, I think he's in a moment of his life where he can do the two things, and I'm gonna get him, you know, a couple more wins in MMA and see if he makes it to the Contender Series, and that would be a great path to follow. He got here in the UFC through Jiu-Jitsu, and eventually, if he can make it to the UFC, I think it would be great.
I saw Micah in the crowd. Is he going to be joining UFC BJJ soon?
Yeah, we love him. We want the best here, and he's one of the best in the world. I think Andrew Tackett and Mika Galvan would be a great match. I think the MMA and Jiu-Jitsu fans would love to watch it. But he can't be here now. He has other contracts to deal with. So whenever he's ready, we'll for sure have a lot of fun watching him here.
And speaking of which, legends I saw in the crowd today. I also saw Bushisha in the crowd today. Would he be somebody that you would want to see at UFC BJJ as well?
For sure, and I tried already. Bushisha is great for the sport. He had an amazing career in Jiu-Jitsu and just made it to the UFC. But I think, you know, with him, we have to be more strategic to keep him sharp for the UFC. So this would be most likely keeping him active. And we have guys like Charles Oliveira reaching out and saying, I want to fight more. Like, and I can't fight that much, but I can compete jiu-jitsu. Like, can you guys put me in there? And, you know, he's a top contender in the UFC. We can't just give him jiu-jitsu matches like that. But I think it would be very fun for the fighters and for the fans to watch these guys grapple, you know. So let's see how UFC BJJ will develop. But, you know, we want to see the legends of the sport competing here for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congrats on another great performance, man. How are we feeling? UFC BJJ 4.
Man, I'm feeling really good. I can't lie. The fact that I'm here for, a third time with the belt in my hand again is just a total dream come true. My heart's beating right now. I'm so excited.
Yeah, obviously you're rounding out the year in a perfect way. So, what's the end of the year reflection for you, right? You have part of the first one, second one, and now the fourth one. So what's your overall reflection of UFC BJJ so far?
I mean, I love it. I can't lie. They're doing great things for the sport. They've treated me really well, and they've been very honest and very upfront with me, and I really respect them for that. And I think they're just pushing the sport forward. So the fact that I'm on this train and I'm, helping doing it is it's so cool. This is a really cool, partnership that I get to be a part of.
Yeah, and you mentioned they're pushing the sport, but I said they're also pushing you, man. We saw you on the UFC weigh-in show. We see you at these actual, big pay-per-view fights and everything like that. So have you noticed that from your end, maybe on your socials and all that, just like your growth, from the UFC BJJ's boost from you?
Definitely. I think I've grown over, 60,000 followers, since I've been with UFC, which is really good. Not quite 60, like 50,000, which is like really good, and I believe it's just going to keep going up. So, the fact that I get to like compete on a platform this big and with like exposure and media this big is it's so cool that jiu-jitsu has gotten to this point.
And what's it like, you being at the forefront of that, right? Putting on these amazing performances, being on the posters, headlining, all that stuff.
I just want to show that jiu-jitsu can be an extremely interesting sport and that it also can be an extremely entertaining sport, Jiu-jitsu is beautiful, but it's also chaotic, and I just want to display that, and I want the whole world to know that. The community that's inside the jiu-jitsu gyms is like second to none. You can't find a good brotherhood and community in any other type of sport than like in a jiu-jitsu gym. So the fact that anyone can train it, anyone can have fun with it, and then you can have like ultimate athletes going out there and making really good money now is I just want it to keep going. I want everyone to know, the sport that I grew up in and the sport that I love so much.
And shifting gears over to tonight, obviously your brother had a tough matchup tonight with Ronaldo. So does that affect you in any way, when you're making that walk or you're in the locker room and you see that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it affected me a lot. I had to like stare in the mirror for like 5 minutes and just be like, all right, you got this. Like, don't let this affect you, like push all emotions away, lock in, said a little prayer, and I was just like, God, just give me the strength to, push through even though my brother lost. And it really put the pressure on my shoulders for sure, but I love when the pressure's on my shoulders. I thrive in that. So I got it done quick, and just couldn't have worked out better for me.
Yeah, and after you got it done quick, you called out Michael Chandler. So can you expand a bit more on that call out?
I mean, Michael Chandler is one of the coolest around. He's a dog, and he's an American that loves to scrap. And I know if I called him out that he might give me a chance. So that's why I called him out, and I'm a big fan of him as well. I'd be willing to take away leg locks, take away guard pulling, as long as he doesn't punch me. Okay, under those rule sets, I think it would be an extremely fair fight, and it would be a scrap. So if we could make that happen, that would be super sick.
Yeah, well, we know you're taught in BJJ, but we've also seen, hit pads and, do some MMA training here and there. So
yeah.
Is that, the future for you? And I know you're doing great things right now with BJJ, but, when would you like to see that happen?
I mean, who knows? I love jiu-jitsu, and it's my love, and I don't think anything will ever replace it. As long as I'm still being challenged and people are still trying to beat me, if not beating me already, and I'm having to work for it, I'll never leave jiu-jitsu. As long as I'm, waking up every morning with a goal and I'm training towards that goal, like I'll always stick to jiu-jitsu. But if it gets very stagnant and I beat everybody, then I'll probably make the switch over to MMA. But as long as I'm being challenged, I won't. Because I don't want brain damage, I love jiu-jitsu. It's a beautiful art, and I just want to keep pushing this sport forward.
Yeah. Is the Cade matchup the one you mostly want back right now?
Yeah, I mean, I want a match with, I would love a match with Joseph. I love a match with Kenta. I love a match with Cade. I love a match with Ty, with Mika. I mean, there's so many names out there that I would love a match with. I wouldn't say like anyone over another because they're all great matches, but it's just whoever I can get, I'm here. I'll fight anyone as long as they're tough. Like, as long as I'm sitting in bed at night and it makes me nervous and it's hard to sleep because I know they're tough, like, I will accept that fight. But if I know I'm going to win and I know it's going to be an easy match, I won't accept it.
I remember you mentioning in prior press conference about coming down here to Las Vegas, kind of shifting over to Vegas. So I've seen you a bit more out here as of late. So how's that been like for you, and how's it treated you?
I moved out here 2.5 months ago. I just wanted to move out here to pursue the PI, man. I mean, the fact that I can get strength training, PT, nutrition, free food, and so much more in one facility is so nice. The fact that I don't have to like drive, from one facility to another facility from another facility when each facility only offers one thing is so big for me. I get to save on gas. I get to save my back because I'm not in the car all day. And the same people I get to see every day. So it's just like a dream come true that I got to move down here to Vegas and pursue this lifestyle with a great company like UFC, and they have a great headquarters like the PI in Apex.
I mean, we always hear, the MMA guys talk about how amazing having those resources are out here. So I can only imagine it's the same or even better for you.
For all the other jiu-jitsu competitors, it's not that great. Trust me, you don't want it. All right, I'll take advantage of it. You don't need it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If Chandler came and said, "I'll trade you an MMA bout for a grappling bout," would you honor that?
Wait, what's up?
If Chandler said, "Hey, I'll do the grappling, but you got to do an MMA bout,"
that'd be. I don't know. He'd probably knock me out.
Hey, but you'll probably tap him out really quickly.
For sure. I mean, if I tapped him out, I don't know. That's. I don't know if I wanted to do an MMA match with him. He'd beat me up, man. It'd be bad.
Let's go straight.
But who knows? Who knows? I'm crazy, man. I like a challenge, so we'll see.
All right, let's make that happen. The only other one for me is I just want to get your thoughts on Royce Gracie wrapping that belt. It looked like you had no idea. You turned around and looked like you were completely surprised.
I'm going to be completely honest. I thought it was Dana. I saw a bald head, and I was like, okay, Dana's about to wrap this belt around me. And then I turned, and it was Royce Gracie, and I was like, what the crap? I was like, I didn't expect to see you. And, I mean, I'm such a fan of him. He's a legend. And the fact that a legend like him wrapped a belt around me, and I've been watching him since I was like 7. It's just really cool. I mean, it's so cool.
I got to think that would be actually more special. That Dana would be cool to have it, but I think Royce Gracie was even better.
I already got Dana wrapped the belt, so now I got 2 bald legends to wrap the belt around me.
You need The Rock for the third one.
Yeah, that would be dope. or Joe Rogan, someone like that, and keep the bald people going. Oh, that's messed up. Wait, I love bald people. I just want to say that. My dad is bald, all right? So bald people are the coolest people. They have built-in solar panels, so it's pretty cool. And they don't have to wake up in the morning, style their hair. It's just so much advantages. Easier to slip out of guillotines. The list goes on.
Hey, champ. I just wanted to touch on, I know you mentioned it earlier about you had a rib injury.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell. So I just want to know, how much did it affect you, and how much did you rehabilitate it before?
For sure.
You got started?
I mean, every fighter knows the name of the game is trained through injuries. I mean, I really don't think the people, the fans and stuff can appreciate it. But the things that we go through, training for our matches is just, you go through it. Like you go through the ups and downs, you train as hard as you can, then you get injured, and then you think you're going to lose, you think you're not training hard enough. Like, it's a hard lifestyle, I can't lie. But, I have a great family. I have, great belief structure, and, with all that combined, I'm just so confident. So even going in there with an injury, I just know I can always get it done. And honestly, every single time I fight with an injury. Like, I'm always going into all of my matches with an injury. This is just like the first time I've ever had like a rib injury. So it was just like a little different. It hurt the whole match. Like, I was very thankful when I finished him, because I was like, relief, it's over. I was like, I don't have to feel the pain. Like when he was in close guard and I was shaking him off, like I was like holding my breath because my rib was hurting. But yeah, I like fighting through stuff, it means more.
And also, how was that? He had your arm when he was in that closed guard standing up. Was that? It looked like it was pretty tight. How did that?
I honestly forgot about that. I never felt pain because he like went for it, and if I wouldn't have instantly moved, like it could have been bad. But I was ready because a lot of people in my divisions are great at like attacking straight arm locks and arm attacks like that. So I've gotten very good at like hyperextending my elbows and working out of it. It could have been bad if I didn't respect it, but I respect everything my opponent throws at me, because I like to make sure I don't just lose on something random like that. But it was definitely a threat, but I was more of a threat,
You're good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, Vlad.
Yeah.
My man, a nice head.
No, nice hair as well.
Thank you,
Haircut.
thank you.
Thank you to your mom.
What's up?
Thank you to your mom.
Yeah, she's got hair. She's got hair, so.
No.
Yeah, my mom cuts my hair too, so.
Great haircut.
Yeah, my mom's my hairstylist.
During the celebration, you had a small chat with Mirab Valishvili. If it's not a secret, what did he say to you? And did you have any chance? I know it's a different weight classes, but did you have a chance to wrestle him in syndicate?
Yeah, no, I've trained with Marab a lot. The dude's an absolute savage. In an MMA fight, he'd beat me 10 times out of 10. I love training with that dude. He's literally a machine. I have never felt anyone that can gas me out like Marab, and then I look at them and they have a straight face. I'm like, what the crap? I'm like, we've been working at like 180 heart rate for like 10 minutes. How are you not tired, you know? He is literally the machine. But the little words that we spoke, he was just like, proud of you, champ. You know, keep it going. You're a beast. And I was like, thank you, man. I was like, you'll be back too. Like, just sharing some kind words. Yeah, it's really cool the fact that I'm getting to know so many, you know, MMA athletes that are like top 10 contenders, you know, #1 contender, UFC champion. Like the fact that I'm building these relationships with these people and I get to like train with them and I get to like, you know, work with them is like, it's pretty sick. You know, I can't lie.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Can I take a picture with you in the belt?
Yeah, do you want me to hold it or?
Yeah, just hold it. And
Okay.
stand.
This is fun. I mean, can you see this at all?